Hello and welcome to the Congo Hour. We want to thank you for watching. We have a pretty exciting show this evening, Wayna.
We do.
Yeah, you
As
want
always.
to let us know, let the audience know who's going to be
Yes.
on?
Our first guest is Newcastle County's own Sheriff Trinidad. And then we have two principals. And what does Butch do?
I don't know. He's a principal.
We have three principals
Oh, my
from
goodness.
Christina School
I have to
District.
get somebody else to start doing the scheduling.
You want to?
Yes. Yes.
Starting today.
Just starting right now.
Starting right now.
Just call me, please, if you want Wayna's job. 218-8630.
Oh my gosh.
All right, thank you so
For
much.
real?
218-8630.
There's no
Let's
pay.
Let's see how many calls
It's
we get.
volunteer work.
That's right. That's the most important part. Never
Gee,
mind.
yeah,
Never mind. Thank you.
exactly.
I appreciate you.
I
do.
can't
I
tell.
do.
And then they also brought a parent
Okay.
along with them. Actually, she's a grandmom and an auntie
All right.
who she'll come on and talk about that. But Trippy, before we do, I have a lot of things that I want to. Not a lot of things. I have a few things that I want to talk about. One, we want to say happy 50th birthday to Thea Blunt.
Okay.
She had
Yep.
her party at the Westin last evening. I had a
Yeah,
ball.
it was a good time. Yeah, it was a really
I
good
had
time.
so much fun.
Yeah.
And then from there, Trippy and I did the opposite. Then from there, we celebrated Francine Wallace's 50th birthday.
Yeah.
And that was nice.
Yeah, and that was a celebration. That
It-
was
oh my
that was really a
gosh,
celebration.
yes.
Just knowing everything she's been through, and
She's-
still
Every time I
standing.
see her,
Yeah.
it's like I get teary-eyed, and we
Yeah.
inbox one another on Facebook, encouraging each other, and she truly doesn't know how much she encourages me. Francine was the young lady whose house was set on fire,
Yeah.
and she survived the fire. I mean, I believe she was burned over like 85 or more
Yeah,
percent
more
of her
than that.
body,
Yeah.
and she's still as beautiful as she was inside and out.
It had so many people come out just to help her
Yes.
celebrate. It was a really nice
It
event
was
over at
very
Shore.
nice. Yes.
Yep.
And then we have to say a shout out to Francine. You
Oh
remember
yeah,
Francine's last
yeah.
name?
Our favorite
Security guard.
yeah, here at
who
the
used
show.
to work here.
She was here a few years ago, and we saw her last night at the Thea's party. So we had to give her a
Yes.
shout out. Her last name is
She's married.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. What's her maiden name?
Roy, I think.
Roy.
Okay.
Roy. I forgot her name.
Yeah, but that's our girl.
Yeah. So.
So I know she's watching, or somebody.
Yep.
Please tell her, because she said if we didn't, she was
we
going
gonna
to
be
get
in
us.
trouble.
And on that note, my cousin Everett Lacey works there at the
Oh, yeah,
Westin,
yeah.
and he'll be turning 50 on May the 3rd. So I want to say early happy birthday to him. And
Are you 50 yet? I mean, you see, you're putting that
Oh.
I don't know. I can't remember. I know you're close. Did you already have your 50th? Or it's coming up? It's coming up this year or next year? Or maybe in like 7 more years? Maybe like 10 years or something like that? I know it's close. When is it? Huh? Next year or this year?
next year,
Next year? Okay. All right. So we'll be celebrating Wayne's 50th
which
next
has
year.
nothing to do with anything.
Next year, I knew it was pretty close. What else?
Are you gonna come celebrate my birthday this year?
I am.
Okay.
You gonna have a party?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
And
All right.
I want to say congratulations to my dear friend Mayor Steve Berg. He won.
Okay,
So
that's
this is
good.
his second
That's
term
good.
of being the mayor of Ellesmere.
All right.
Let me make sure that's all my announcements, because I know that you're gonna go over time.
Probably.
Yeah, I just know
Probably.
you are. Yeah, those
Yeah.
are my bullets that I wanted to talk
Okay.
about today.
Earlier, well, I guess last week now, I hurt my back. I don't know if I told you this.
Yeah, you was.
Did I? Yeah, I hurt my back. I don't know how I did. I think did it maybe playing kickball with the kids. So I ended up going to the doctors to see what was going on, and so they did some blood work, and came back. This wasn't related to the back, but I have high cholesterol. Did I tell you that?
No.
Yeah, I have high cholesterol.
There's a lot of things that you
I
don't
know,
tell me
I know.
about
I'm
lately.
sorry. I'm telling you now.
Okay.
I'm telling you now. So they wanted to put me on. They kept calling me. The doctor's office did it after I got my
And you
blood
wasn't
work.
answering your phone.
Yeah, believe it or not. Believe it or not. So when I finally called them back, they were like, "Yes, Mr. Congo, you have high blood pressure. So we called in this prescription for you. I want you to start exercising and going on a low-fat diet." So I'm like, okay. So I kind of received the last two, but the first one about the medication, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. There's just so many side effects to that,
Right.
to those medications.
And I know Kim probably had a fit giving
Oh,
you
yeah,
natural
yeah,
things
you know
to
she
do,
did.
right?
My sister Kim, she's our I guess our
Health fanatic?
Yeah, health fanatic in the family. And I'm just going to change my diet up. Start.
You're not going to take the medicine?
Nope. I'm going to see. Gonna see what happens. I'm scared to take it. Honestly,
God.
I know. I'm not gonna do it. I've already changed my diet. I started exercising yesterday. And
But changing, I thought you were already doing well.
no, I guess I was, but then I fell off. Yeah, I fell off a while ago. I just started eating any and everything in sight and late, and just messing up around, across the board as far as my diet, like eating cookies and cakes and crackers and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So I put on like 15 or 20 pounds. Yeah, so.
No comment.
Yeah, you better not, because I was going to get you. But but yeah, I changed my diet up. I started exercising yesterday, so I'm going to go back in a few weeks and see what my levels are without the medication.
I know, because remember I told you there's a young lady, I forget her name, that said you used to come all the time to work out, and she hadn't seen you for a while. Are you back there working out?
I'm just doing stuff at home.
Okay.
Yeah, doing stuff at home, so. I'll let you know in a few weeks. But the levels were, according to the nurse, they were really high. I don't know. I can't remember what they are right now. She said they were really high. So I'm gonna do
When
better.
do you go back for your follow-up?
I haven't scheduled it, but I'm gonna go in like 6 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And you know what, Trippy? I was going to remind you that, and I'll remind you, I'll look at it during the break, and then I'll remind you. Let's go
Okay.
to our interview.
All right.
All right. Welcome, Sheriff,
Yeah,
to the
welcome.
Congo Hour. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Thanks for having
Welcome
me.
to the post-interview, because we had your interview prior to us going live.
I just hope I get invited to the 50th birthday party.
You will.
Half a century, that's something.
I love
comment.
Trippy
No
so
comment.
much.
Oh,
I love
boy.
him so much.
He started
I'm
it.
definitely going to make sure you're invited.
Good,
And
good.
you better
I'd be happy to come.
All right. So tell us about the office of the sheriff. Like, people, I don't know, when you watch cartoons, you think the sheriff only comes to arrest you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Right.
And that was one of my biggest challenges when I left the police department, was to realize that, I'm not a police officer anymore. I can't arrest people. I can't pull over cars for speeding and things like that. So it's a bit of a challenge in the beginning, but we help people. And that's what we did at the police department. So that's one of the biggest challenges we have in the sheriff's office, because most of the things that we do it's court ordered, so we don't have a whole lot of discretion about how we can help people. In fact, I was actually accused of practicing law without a license because I
Really?
was trying to help people who were in the foreclosure process by just giving them advice,
Oh.
telling them about their rights, not
Right.
necessarily counseling them like a lawyer would, but just telling them
Accused by who?
they're
Or you don't
entitled
want
to
to
do.
get into that?
Pardon me?
You said that you were accused of it. Like,
Oh yeah,
accused by who?
by an individual who represents a law firm, an
Yeah?
attorney, who
Oh,
basically
wow.
said to stop doing what you're doing.
Stop
because
caring about the people.
Yeah, because
Wow, that's
in his
crazy.
opinion, I was practicing law, and the truth is, when people ask you questions, especially when they're in the most difficult time of their lives, they're losing their home,
Right.
and they ask you what their rights are, we tell them,
All right.
and we point them in the right direction, and we offer resources to them. That's what government's supposed to do.
I was going to say, they do have a right to know what their rights are, correct?
Well, see, some of these guys, that's correct, but some of these individuals are scam artists. So
Okay.
they'll say to them, if you sign off all the rights to the property, I won't charge you for that new roof that you need. Knowing full well that there's money left over
Okay.
that they will take that they're not entitled to. And they actually got in trouble. Some of these investors got in trouble because they'd buy the properties at a sheriff's sale, come to the individual who lost their property and say, look, I'm not going to charge you. I want to help you out. You just have to sign off any proceeds to me so that I don't have to charge you for the new roof. And they were taking tens of thousands of dollars from people. So,
Take us through the process of a sheriff's sale.
well, there's two different types. Well, there's a mortgage foreclosure.
Okay.
And thank God that they're not where they were just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Back in 2011, we were setting up 350 properties every month.
Shit.
Today we're doing about a third of that. So the
Okay, that's
economy
good,
is
yeah.
getting better, but it's a court order procedure. It could be for not paying your mortgage. It could be for tax munitions. And tax munitions mean that you didn't pay your taxes, so the government, whether it's the city of Wilmington or Newcastle County, will go after that property. In other words, will sell that property so they can, the sewer or taxes that weren't paid, so they can recoup their monies.
Okay.
And one of the best parts of my job is to be able to return money to people after the sale. I have no discretion when it comes to property A or property B. I've had to sell properties to close family members of mine. And that's really one of the toughest things I had to do.
Yeah.
But now, one of the programs we have in the office is if there's excess proceeds from the sale, meaning that there's money left over, we go right to the person, knock on their door, or call them and say, hey, we owe you money. And it's challenging because who does that?
Right.
And people think it's a scam, or people think that I gained something from it. And the truth is, it's not my money.
Right.
It's not the county's money. It's not the state's money. It's the rightful owner. And I found a lady just the other day in Wisconsin. I have a search engine, so I looked her up, and I actually found her daughter. Called her, left her a message, and within 2 minutes she called me up. She said, I knew it was true. I knew it was true because I remember your name from back when you were a police officer. It made me feel so good. The truth is, she couldn't even come, pay for a ticket to fly out here. So we're going to work something out to try to help her. It's like $39,000 that she's entitled to. She's the rightful owner, and we're going to do everything we can do to return that money to her.
Catch the bus, start walking.
So
Tell us how often are sheriff sales, and how can our viewing audience find out about a sheriff sale?
We do them on the second Tuesday of every month. We advertise online. The Newcastle County website's nccde.org. And you can click on the sheriff's website and you can find that information. You can also come into the office and see it. You can purchase it, but we'd rather people just get it online because it doesn't cost anything. So it's easier for the citizens and the investors. But we do it once a month on the second Tuesday of that month. And again, because of this mortgage mediation law that was passed by the General Assembly a few years ago, it really cut by almost 2/3 the amount of sales that we were selling, or properties that we were selling, just a few years ago.
how long is the process usually? Once a homeowner gets something on their door saying it's a sheriff's sale going to happen.
Yeah, it varies,
How's
to
that
be
happen?
honest with you, because it depends on how active or proactive or reactive the law firm who represents the banks, how soon they want to do the sale. Because I've had friends of mine who have neighbors who hadn't paid their mortgage for years, 2-3 years. And then they moved out, and the property stayed open for a couple more years. They have such an inventory, the banks do now, that they're not really in a rush like they used to be, because they'd rather have people in their homes cutting the grass, taking care of the property, rather than having an abandoned home in a community where kids have smashed out the windows or someone's not cutting the grass. So they've really slowed down in the last couple of years.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So let's say that the homeowner leaves the home unattended, and the grass and everything, and then code enforcement comes out, they fine them, so that's more money that is built up for them to pay. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the beauty part of it, me going out and trying to reach individuals who we owe money to, oftentimes they'll have a lien or a judgment against them because they didn't cut the grass, or maybe they had trouble paying their utility bills. Well, we can't return the money until we pay those liens and judgments off. So they may not get a penny back, but it'll at least clear them of those liens and judgments that stay with them, forever. So it's a really good program. It's a positive program. We're happy.
Earlier you mentioned that the banks aren't in as big of a rush as they were in the past. So once an individual loses their home and it becomes a property of the bank, is it the bank's responsibility to keep that property up now?
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's the whoever has the equitable interest. It's not always purchased back by the bank, although in mortgage foreclosures, it's about 90% of the sales. When an investor moves in or purchases it and starts cleaning it up, getting ready to either flip it or to rent it, it depends on how much time from the time they start till no one's cutting the grass or someone's not taking care of the property. So there's lots of variables involved.
Okay.
Now let's go back. You said it's every second Tuesday. Where is the sheriff's sale held?
We hold it in the city county building, right in council chambers. So it's we changed that process as well. It used to be that anyone could walk in if they had a check for $5,000, they could bid on the property, but then they could walk out because we didn't have them. We didn't give them a number. So now we've changed it so that when a person bids on a property, they may raise their number 31, 35, whatever it is. So we know who that individual is because we already checked their information. We already checked that they had certified funds, and now that they're registered, it makes the whole sale more professional.
And they had to pay for everything in full, right?
On a tax admonition, meaning a tax sale, they had to pay in full that day of the sale.
Okay.
But the truth is, there's properties in the city here that'll sell for just a few $1,000s, And when I first heard that, I was like, that's criminal. How can we do that to people? But I went out to these properties and I found out that they're the ones that are boarded up, or that have been set on fire, or again, the windows were smashed out. So it really can be a good thing. But whenever there's a family in the home, it's never a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely. One of the things that I see that the city is doing, and I'm not sure if we're doing it in the county, are the vacant homes. They're like putting imitation windows and a door up. Do you know about that?
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
But I don't know that we're doing it in the county. I don't suspect that we are. I get calls from people all the time say, hey, there's a property in my community, it's an eyesore, what can you do about it? And the truth is, other than calling the county and trying to light a few fires, see, we know who the owner is. I can check that and find out if the bank purchased it back. We can contact them and say, look, this is going to start costing you more money, and you need to do something about it. And sometimes that helps. But we can't get another person or family into that home until the bank that owns the property moves forward, until they hire a realtor and actually start the process of putting the property on the market.
All right.
Very good. I wish I'm gonna invite you back on.
Okay.
And next time we'll have the audience call in. They may have some questions
yeah.
that they would
Now you-
like to
now you think of
ask.
that.
Yeah, well,
At the
you know, I
end
had,
of the interview.
I had friends of mine call before, and they weren't the greatest questions. I have to warn you. I had one guy say, "Hey, I asked the bowl with Trini. He's a great guy." It had nothing to do with the topic.
You have
or
to screen
anything.
them.
Yeah, so be careful.
Sounds like Norman and the mayor's conversation earlier. Okay, well, thank you so very much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for the opportunity to
Okay,
come out.
you're welcome.
All right. So we'll take a really quick break, and we'll be right back with the two principals
The
and
three
and
principals.
Butchie.
And
All right.
I can't stand you. So,
All right, welcome back to Sammy's Corner. He's joined us, and we're going to give you a few more minutes. So you're on early. I know you're always complaining about the time that you're allotted. So Wayne and I got together and we said we're going to end that first interview early enough so you can come on and get settled and get your thoughts together and have a few extra minutes for Sammy's Corner.
Can I discuss that later?
Yes, yes you
Okay.
can. Yes, you
All
can.
right.
Yes, you can. Welcome back. I mean, you've been here for the last couple of weeks now.
Yeah, you've been very good to me.
Saw a few people who were wondering about your absence, and they were glad to see you last week, and I'm sure they're glad to see you this week.
Well, I'm glad to be here, sir.
All right, that's good. People really look forward to seeing you for some reason. I haven't figured it out
I think
yet.
we
but-
better not take their
Okay,
time.
all right.
Let's
Sure,
get
sure.
practice, sir.
So as Wayne mentioned earlier, we have some educators here and a concerned parent. They're going to talk about education and the school referendum. So we're not going to take up too much time talking to each other. We just want to go to them and let them introduce themselves, and we'll have a conversation.
Sounds good.
All right. Little Butch. First and foremost, this is my cousin, my first cousin, you guys, and I'm just so proud of him for doing so many wonderful things. He's a principal. Even though Wayne she tried to. No, I'm not gonna put her under the bus. I'm gonna let her slide. But yeah, he's a principal. He's been doing so. How long have you been teaching now, Butch?
I've been an administrator now. This is 10 years.
Yeah. How long have you been teaching now?
Well, I've been in the Christina School District, so a combination of everything for about 15 years.
15 years. Yeah. Okay. How's that experience been?
It's been pretty good. It's
Has it?
exciting.
Okay.
Every year it gets better.
Do they call you Butch or they call you Harold? I don't know.
Principal Ingram.
Principal Ingram. Excuse me. Excuse me. I mean, your colleague. What do they call you? Principal Ingram?
I'll probably call me Mr. Ingram.
Mr. Ingram?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I know him as Little Butch because his dad is Big Butch, so I've been calling him Little Butch my whole life. I can't really get out of that habit now. So if I slip up during the interview, please forgive me.
That's okay.
All right. I
No
appreciate
problem.
it. So what brings you on the show this evening?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to be on the Congo
All right.
Hour so we could talk about the Christina School District and the upcoming referendum that we're having on May 27th.
Okay. All right. And you brought some people with you, right?
Yes, I did.
All right, so we'll let them introduce themselves, and then we'll find out what's going on.
Hi, I'm Central West. I have 4 grandchildren in the Christina School District at Stubbs Elementary.
Okay,
Yeah, Jeff Brown. I'm the principal at Stubbs Elementary.
okay.
And I'm Eric Stansell, principal at Byatt Middle School. And again, I want to thank you for this opportunity to talk about something that's important to us.
Okay.
Thank
All right,
you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on just to share the information. We appreciate it. So tell us what a referendum is.
Basically, what happens is a school district goes out every so often to get operating referendum where they're getting funds and resources for the school district.
Okay.
Right now, currently, the Christina School District is in about a $9 million deficit, and what we're doing now is we're trying to reach out to the public to ensure the academic success of our students, and in doing that, we have to ask for additional money and resources. And what that is basically an increase in taxes over a period of 3 years. So essentially what now Christina School District is doing is they're asking for 37 cents for operating referendum.
Okay. So, so for the people who are in the district, if
Right.
when is the referendum?
May 27th.
May 27th.
Yes.
So you need their support. You need them to go out and vote for the referendum, and it's gonna.
We would like for them to come out and vote positively for the
Right.
referendum. And what we want to do now basically is give them information well informed. We don't necessarily want to sway a decision one way or the other, but I think that the only way for you to make an informed decision is to get the most of the information.
Right. So why should they support it? That can be for any of you.
Well, you know, we look at what that deficit has, what listed items we would have to go without during the school year.
Okay.
One would be teachers first and foremost, and then aside from that would be other programs that we offer for students, enriching programs. So certain things have to be cut in order to make up money. So
Okay.
losing our teachers would increase our classroom sizes, and we don't want to do that.
Right.
And we have music programs, athletic programs. We want to keep the kids busy off the streets and have something to do.
Okay. So, all right. How do you feel about the referendum?
It's so important for everybody to get out and vote because the after-school program is the most important thing for me,
Right.
and keeping our kids off the streets.
Mhm.
We have children. I'm on 9th and Pine.
Okay.
I'm right in the city, and we have children out there that have nothing to do, and they're just getting in trouble, and you know, it's just bad. We need to do the music and the drums, and you know, give them something to do so they can stay in school.
Right.
Because I have a group of kids that don't go to school. They're 12, 13 years old. So, you know, we need to vote positive to pass the referendum. I mean, we didn't pass the first time, so we got a second opportunity,
Okay.
which doesn't happen that often. So we can get out there and do it again. We didn't have a lot of support the first time. I don't think our homeowners, people that don't have children, don't understand how important it is to, you know, keep the kids off the streets, because it's helping them out too. You don't have to worry about, you know, crime in your neighborhood, and you know, they think it's not important because they don't have children.
Right.
They don't want to pay the extra tax.
Right.
But it'll help them out too,
Mhm.
and help the children. So
All right. So it's a win-win situation.
yeah,
Mm.
for everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like you said, it's only 37 cents.
yeah. I mean, and it costs more to house someone in prison. I didn't want to go there, but
Yeah.
it costs a lot more to do that than to, you know, have some after-school programs and summer programs. And our summer program is cut this year till 12:30, and last year was later. You know, so you know, it's hard for parents that are working to, you know, find that something for the kids to do in that time for them to get off work. You know, it's we need the money.
Okay. How did Christina get in this situation, gentlemen? How come we need the referendum?
Well, just naturally, just the rise in operational costs.
Okay.
You know, over time, just economy and the rise in costs just
Right.
naturally puts any school district in this situation.
Right.
If you look across the state, various school districts participate in referendum. So it's just a natural rise in costs, the operating costs, when you're talking about transportation costs and all the various things that a school district has to do to be able to operate.
All right. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
If I could, just real quick, just to put it in context, the average assessed value for residents in the Christina School District, first, the misunderstanding is that it's not the market value. So a lot of people think that they're paying taxes on the market value of their house, but it's actually the assessed value. The average assessed value for the Christina School District is $64,000. So essentially what that breaks out to, what we're asking for this 37-cent referendum is about $14 additional per month. So when you put it in those terms, people are more likely to be receptive
Right.
and agreeable to that referendum. Before, of course, it was a little bit more, but we realized that we need to make it necessary and essential for the people.
You have any thoughts there?
Yeah, I guess I would wonder, you know, who and what prevents this referendum from passing? What would prevent it from passing, and who were the people who would prevent it from passing?
I think one of the things that came out of the last referendum in February, the feedback that we received, we know we need to do a better job in informing the public about what a referendum is, why we need it, and what's going to happen with the money if we have a passing referendum. Things such as being able to explain who's eligible to vote. You need to be 18 on or before May 27th.
Okay.
Of course, you have to be a Delaware and U.S. citizen, and you need to live within our school district.
All right.
One of the things that appeared to be some confusion, even if you're a renter, you still can vote. You don't have to be a homeowner to vote for this referendum.
Okay. That's good.
You don't even have to be registered to vote altogether. You still can participate in this referendum. So just educating the public,
Right.
we feel like we can hopefully get more voters out.
So if someone wants to vote and they want to be a part of this process and they want to support, what do they need to take with them when they go to vote?
Just need to have some form of ID,
Okay.
just to verify that you live in the school district.
Okay, that's it.
How did
That's
it
it.
fail the last time? What caused it to fail the last
Well,
time?
we failed in how we promoted it and describing what it was for, what it would be used for, why it is. And I think that's the biggest thing. And so we're making up for that this time to make sure we get out into the public and let everyone know what it's about, what it's going to be used for, and being very transparent with that.
All right.
Sorry. If I could just touch on what you said before, I don't think that anything necessarily prevents it from failing. I think that if you think about it, it's about students, it's about kids. So I don't think that anybody's sitting out there in the public, or I would hope nobody out in the public is saying that I don't want to support students, because essentially the student's success is tied into their success. If they're not getting the adequate resources, and if they're not being educated properly, and they're not given the opportunity to be successful, then ultimately the community as a whole fails as well. And we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And like Mr. Brown said, I think that the issue is that we just need to be more informative and get the information out as much as we possibly can. And we didn't do it as well as we could have last time, and we did listen to the community, and we are now out and we're actually giving that information out.
Okay.
I guess I'm lost here.
Yeah.
It failed the last time.
All right.
Something made it fail. What made it fail?
I would say,
So what happens? There are people who live in the district. They vote for it. Like homeowners, renters, they either vote for it or they vote against it. So there were there were more people who didn't support it than supported it. That's why it didn't pass. It wasn't like a body or a group of people who vote on it. It's the actual community who votes on it. So right now they're just trying to get information out so the community can be better informed of why it's necessary.
So there was a lot of satisfied people who just didn't vote.
right,
That should have voted.
right.
So we need to have you guys on every week so that we can begin to create what do you call that?
Like a buzz or like a urgency.
Subliminal kind
I
of
got
mind where you keep in your mind, we got to vote, we got to vote, we got to vote. Because the impact that it has when we don't vote. And, it was interesting that we talked last week about even in our public voting, when we put our mayor and city council and those folks, only 18% voted the last time.
Right.
So we have to create a greater conscience for people to understand the responsibility that they have and the importance of what happens to our community when it doesn't happen, as you just mentioned.
Right.
So, how do we do that? We just do it through media like this, or do we pass out brochures? Do we have people who go and knock from door? Do we need volunteers?
Well, we're doing the media. We're on TV with you for the first time. I appreciate that. We're going to knock on doors Tuesday night. We'll be on the west side, knocking on doors, handing out flyers, and then we'll pick some other dates after that to walk near the William Hicks Anderson Center, and then walk on the east side, knock on doors. And our other peers out in the suburbs will do the same thing in their communities and near their schools. So it's not just in the city, it's outside in the suburbs.
What is the geographic area of the Christina School District?
It goes through Bear, goes through Newark, Newcastle, and through the city. So we have 17 elementary schools, 3 middle, 2 high. We're
What schools does it
17,000
affect?
kids.
What schools
yeah.
are in the city or in Newcastle?
In Newcastle?
Or in the city first?
In the city, Bayard, Stubbs, Pulaski, Palmer, Albert Palmer. Who am I forgetting?
Sarah Pollock.
Oh, did I forget Bear? Oh, whoops, my bad.
He's used to
Bancroft.
that.
Yeah, so with 4 elementary, one middle school in the
Okay.
city. Don't get me to name everybody out.
Oh, no,
There's
that's,
so
I
many
just
of
wanted
us.
to kind of give,
Yeah,
give people an idea of
Right.
if they have a loved one or a student or grandchild in those schools that they need to go out and support it.
right.
And historically, it's been a struggle just to get voters out in the city, which is why we're trying to,
Yeah.
gather the masses and make this a community effort. We get a lot more people who vote out in the suburbs, but in the city historically, we haven't had the numbers that we really need. So that's why Mr. Brownie indicated we are going to go knock on doors. We're going to pass out that information. We have opportunities at the school for them to come in and have conversations with us. I know the district has a number of opportunities as well. This coming Thursday, they actually are having an opportunity for legislators who actually are involved in the Christina School District, as well as as well as parents and them, to be able to come out Wednesday morning to be able to have that conversation with them so they can hear all the information and get that. I know each individual school also are having their own programs as well.
Okay.
With a letter from the editor, they have letters to the editor and all that. Is that legal for the news journal to get involved, or someone go to the news journal to say we need a letter from the editor to explain the values and get motivation stuff started anyway?
I'm going to say I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we have a referendum committee
Right.
led by Ms. West and another parent in the district, Ms. Mannering. So they're spearheading our initiative to get the word out to different groups, civic associations, and that. And they're contacting everyone from the mayor's office, the governor's office, just to spread the word throughout, the city and the suburbs as well.
Right.
Can the kids do that? Can the kids knock on doors and say, we need you to vote for this? Is that legal or illegal?
I don't think that we can
I
get
don't
them
think
to
we can do it, yeah.
We can't get them to say to vote for it. But I mean, anybody's eligible to be able to give out the information. But it would be illegal for us to go say vote yes. So I mean, we can't necessarily do that. Our job as the people who work for the Christina School District and the individuals who are part of the Christina School District is just to give them the information so that they can make an informed decision. But we can't tell them no. We can't go say vote yes for the referendum. That would be illegal.
So I, as a parent, can say.
Right.
There you go.
And she tells me
What I was trying to say, can the students knock on the doors to say, go vote?
I think they can, but it has to be led by their families. Like the schools can't.
No,
Being
the
a
school can't say that.
Right.
I see now.
Right.
Okay.
All right. You wanted to make a point?
Yeah, I think all in all, we want to make sure the message is clear
Right.
about
Yeah,
how
that's the most
the
important.
referendum can benefit our district as a whole. Being able to keep our class sizes at optimal levels, being able to keep our after-school programs, being able to have those intervention programs that many of our kids need in addition to the classroom. Those things are tremendous in helping our kids be successful. And having a positive referendum will allow us to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's important, like you said, just to get the information out there. I think not enough people know what's at stake, and even they don't even know what it is and what it's about. So it's really important just to give people the necessary information so they can support it. Do you have any type of like promo videos or anything like that? Something that we could show here?
I could leave you with some of
Okay.
that information that you're able to run, and if you wouldn't mind running that every week, just in case we're not able to come every week.
You can be the host for the next few weeks.
I can be the host. I'll do that.
You're a winner. All right.
I'm on it.
All right.
I think that's serious.
It
and
is.
It's
No, I believe
serious
it.
enough
Right.
that we run this idea of getting folks out until May 27th. I really believe that is more serious than anything that could possibly come on this channel for the next until the 27th.
May
right?
27th, yes.
So whether we run videos, have interested community people to come in and talk about how that they can, rally around this effort, and I think that's something that you
that's
should
true.
do, and
Yeah,
have
that's true.
guys like Little Butch. Is that his name?
Yeah, Little Butch. Every
Little
time when he's on the
Butch.
show, it's Little Butch.
Have Little Butch to come in and host, because a lot of folks like myself, I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't know, but I'm all heated up now because I know how important it is to just to even give up our time for the next month, because I believe we'll save some souls.
And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I don't think people realize the importance of it and what's at stake. So I think that what you're saying, Dad, is absolutely right. We have to support it.
We have
Yeah,
to.
we have to.
There's no question. And whoever else on Channel 28 will run the video,
Right.
we have to promote that. And so we surely have an opportunity to get a lot of folk to do that. I will pass it on to some of the other people that have time on there. If you can get the video to Trippy, then
I can do that.
we can give it to the folks here and get permission to run it and run it and run it until the 27th. And I'll bet you it makes a big change if we give it that kind of, emphasis.
Right.
And we keep passing on information and stimulating so that we can have that subliminal mind that says,
I got to
we
do
got to
something on the
vote.
27th. Like, what do I have to do on the
Right.
27th?
That's
What's in my
right.
mind?
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right. So where do they vote on the 27th?
All the schools in the Christina School District will have a
Okay.
voting site.
Okay. And do you know the hours, or does anyone know
It's
the
from
hours?
10 to 8.
10 to 8.
Right.
Okay. All right. And again, all they need to do is just bring their ID, just to let.
ID or license or something that has proof of
Right.
residence that they are a resident of the Christina
What
School
about
District.
people who have who are felons? Does that make a difference?
Not for this particular vote.
Okay, that's important.
As long as they have a valid,
As long as they have a valid ID.
ID.
Okay. All right. Any other points, you gentlemen, ma'am, you want to get across?
No, I would just say anyone that's interested and passionate about education, just go to their nearby school and visit and see what's going on.
Right.
And then they'll see the programs and the kids and how hard they're working.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
how
point.
hard our teachers are working in the district. We want to keep them, so this helps us do that.
That's a good point that you made, to go and see what's going on.
Right,
And
right,
decide, and go from there and see why it needs so much support.
Right.
Is Lance still the president of the Civic Associations throughout the Wilmington area?
I'm not sure. Lance, Bruce,
Lance Bruce, yeah.
when you say the president,
Well, someone's in charge of all these civic associations. I thought he was.
I don't think so.
Well, we'll try to have Lance to come on, and because he's very involved in things like this. And what other civic association people in this area, and maybe you can point out some areas when you come on as host and draw a map and say, here's where we are, and here are the the folks that we need to talk to about this, because I just think I'm so glad to be here tonight, and I'm so glad that you gentlemen have come on, because we're interested in education big time.
And what's really important, I'm going to cut you off, but it's really, I think what will really be important is to bring concerned families along with you and have them be a part of the message. Because it's one thing to hear you three gentlemen say something. Some people may think that it's just for self-interest, but to hear Ms. West talk about it and how it's going to affect her family and her neighborhood, I think that just speaks volumes. So just having people who will be directly affected, not saying that you're not going to be directly affected,
Right.
but just having those family members come on, and even children come on and talk about it.
That would be good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're gonna anything else before we go to break?
Just remember, it's about the kids. That's what this is about. A lot of times people get caught up in things that are not productive, and they need to realize that this is pretty much about the kids, and we have to do our best to support them. And when we're asking for, like I said, on average about $14 a month, I think that we're able to do that to support the future of our students.
Okay.
And again, that's on May 27th, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. You have 28 locations that you can vote. So please come out and vote.
All right, Ms. West.
Come out and vote.
Okay. All right, so we'll see some of you throughout the next month. See you next week, right, Butch?
You will.
Okay. All right. Little Butch, I'm sorry, man.
It's a little Butch. It's fine.
All right, we're going to take a really quick break, and Wayne is going to come back with our community news and our funeral announcements.